welcome to another how-to video. Today I'm going to show you how to do Play-Doh. It's a great one with kids, and although I love the shop-bought Play-Doh, it's quite fun to do this activity with children. Mine aren't here today, so hopefully it'll go quite smoothly. You may think that I have a really good recipe because I'm an artist, but I don't. I found one last year on Pinterest and then realised that my son's nursery used the same recipe, so I will just run through what you need. You need 4 cups of cold water, which I've got in here. You need 4 cups of plain flour. This is just a cheap flour that I got in Lidl, I think. You need 2 cups of salt, just table salt, but it does, bear in mind that it uses a lot of the salt that you have. And a tablespoon of cream of tartar and a tablespoon of olive oil. I will add the instructions in as well along the bottom, hopefully, so you can see how they work. So this one uses heat. Well, I'll not put the heat on first, but we're going to just add all the ingredients in together. It's not really like baking in that there doesn't really have to be a system. That's why people like myself can manage to do this. So cream of tartar you're going to add in as well. It is what you use in baking to make like stiffen egg whites. So same thing here, you add it to your Play-Doh to make it stiffer and stronger. And then a tablespoon of cooking oil, just any cooking oil really. I'm using olive oil today. And then your 4 cups of water. So we're going to add that all in. Doesn't really look like much, but I'm going to put it on the heat now. So I'm going to have this sort of a medium heat. The only advice I have for you is to keep stirring, because I'm actually going to put it up to number 6. Because it can very quickly start to form lumps and things, but really just keep stirring it and you will be surprised how it does come together. It really is a bit like a slop at the minute, as you can see, but stick with it, and as you put it over the heat it will start to come together and it starts to form like a sticky liquid that you can pull off the sides. But there's so much flour in that you really have to keep stirring it, because you'll find that the flour comes out of everywhere. So as I said, I love Play-Doh. Play-Doh has always been a favourite thing of mine since I was really a little girl. And I actually love the shop bought one. It's just, this is a really cool thing to do with your kids, for your kids. And it lasts quite a while in a sealed container, which is, again, pretty fun. And also I learned from my son's playgroup last year that you can add scents to it. So today I'm going to try and add some lavender, and you can also add colour. So you can just add a little bit of food colouring to it. So it's already starting to get tacky at the sides here. I actually get a bit nervous because something I definitely have made it in the past and it hasn't worked. So it gets to the point where you can hardly stir it, but keep going. And it gradually just starts to get thicker. So really you just got like your starch and everything in here. It is like baking. When I was younger we made them and you used to put them in the oven as well. So you made like little people and then you baked them in the oven. Here we go. It's starting to come away from the sides, as you can see. And I've kept that heat on consistently the whole time, so it's still on 6. Okay. I'm going to try and take this off the heat because I'm aware of time. I'm also going to throw a bit of flour onto my surface. It's more out of habit than anything else. But here we go. This is not the type of Play-Doh that you want to be eating because it's so much salt in it. It's like getting into the sea or something. So turn off your heat and then get your hands in. Pretty warm. Then we're going to try and tip it out. Don't get your hands in maybe first. So as you can see, it's like a big splodge of dough. This makes quite a big quantity as well. I'm making my hands really floury. And then you're just going to knead it and take a bit of time with it. Oh, I love it. It feels so nice and soft, which is great. And kids love this bit because it's so gooey as well. I'm probably working with it when it's a tiny bit too hot, so you can let it cool a little bit if you wish. I have a lot of flour in my hands here too because I've really rushed the job of it. Okay, and then at this stage you will probably, so you can see already, certainly in parts, that it's now coming together and forming more of a dough. I think that the texture of it is quite like those shop bought ones. I'm just refilling my hands with quite a bit of flour, so you could have that a bit better prepared than I did. So here at this stage we are going to add, there you go, you can finally now lift it as well, which is great. And because you're not going to eat it, you can just add in all these little extra bits that go to the side, pat it down. And once it starts to form a ball, you can then really like knead it as well. But I'm going to add in a tiny bit of food colouring. So this is a really very small bit. You do not need very much. I'd say it's about a quarter of a teaspoonful there. And then you just add that in. Really should have had more flour to hand. Okay. And once you start to knead that in, like it's really coming together now, and you can knead it in. As you can see, I'm not a baker by any means. My method is probably a bit like treating it like a pizza dough, but there you will see it starts to come into being blue. And the more you knead it that, the more it will turn blue, and not just your hands. And the last thing I want to show you, you might want to add more of the blue to that. It's just a very pale blue, this one. You can add scents as well. So I learned this last year at my son's nursery and I totally loved it. So I had lavender, I've maybe left it somewhere, but you can add a little bit of lavender or vanilla or different smells. And the kids love it, and I think it is so special, especially when you're working with anybody with any learning difficulties who will really benefit from that sensory part of the Play-Doh. So there you go, a very long video to show you how to make your own blue Play-Doh. The more you knead it, the less gungy it will be as well. I'll take a photo of the finished product. Thanks.